Hello, math friends. It's awesome to have you back here. Today we're going to talk about the order of operations with square roots. We're going to try to get to the root of the problem. So if we take a look at some special numbers are like when I square 1, I get 1. When I square 2, I get 4. When I square 3, I get 9. When I square 4, I get 16. When I square 5, I get 25. When I square 6, I get 36. And I could keep going. I could square 7, 8, 9. All of these numbers that I'm getting out as my answers, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, are super special because they're what we call perfect squares. And we love them because when we take the square root of those numbers, we get whole numbers. And when you deal with square roots in 7th grade, those are mostly the type of numbers that you're going to be dealing with, because these are the only numbers, the perfect squares, that give you whole number answers to your square roots. All the other ones would come out as decimals. So let's just try it. If I were to take the square root of 1, I would get 1, because 1 is the number that I squared to get that perfect square. If I took the square root of 4, I would get 2, because 2 is the number I squared to get 4. If I took the square root of 9, I would get 3, because I squared 3 to get the 9, and so on. So the square root of 16 would be 4, the square root of 25 would be 5, the square root of 36 would be 6. Okay, so just a quick review of that idea of perfect squares and square roots, because that's going to help us now when we do problems that involve the order of operations. Okay, so we better, since we're in review land, we better go ahead and review the order of operations as well. Remember, the order of operations is oftentimes referred to as PEMDAS. And it's parentheses, exponents. Remember, multiplication and division go left to right. And same with addition and subtraction, left to right. And it's the order that we do math problems, and it sticks with us forever. So we got to know it. All right, so let's take a look at how these two things combine then in some math problems. So I might have negative 12 plus the square root of 49. Now, if you notice, there isn't any square rooting in here, but really, square roots, though, are fancy exponents. And so they look a little bit different, but they operate under our E in our order of operations. So I look and I go parentheses, I don't have any. Exponents, ooh, I got a fancy one, a square root. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. So I get negative 12 plus, sure enough, square root of 49. That's one of our nice perfect squares, because 7 times 7 is 49, so the square root is 7. And then I go ahead and just do my negative 12 plus 7. My negative 12 plus 7 is going to give me a negative 5. And there's my answer. I just combined two super awesome parts of math, order of operations and square roots. Let's do another. So if we do another problem like that, keeping those same ideas in our head, I could have the square root, and I could take 3 times 8 plus negative 8, and that's all underneath the square root, plus the square root of 100. Okay, so again, I'm going to think about my order of operations, but one thing I have to recognize here is that I can't, so I don't have any parentheses in this problem. But then I go to exponents, and these are fancy exponents, which are great, but I can't just all of a sudden take the square root. I got to do everything underneath that square root first, and then take the square root. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify underneath my square root here first. So I'm going to take my 3 times 8. I'm going to follow the order of operations underneath the square root sign. And I get 24 plus a negative 8 plus the square root of 100. I'm still not able to take the square root. I got to combine here and do my addition. So 24 plus negative 8 is going to give me the square root of 16 plus the square root of 100. And now I'm sitting real pretty with two fancy little square roots that are both perfect squares underneath, so it works out nice and neat. The square root of 16 would be 4 plus the square root of 100, which would be 10, and then I just add them, and I get 14. Super awesome. I combine my order of operations with square roots. I hope you're feeling super smart. Super smart. Good work. See you later.